All right, and hello everybody, I'm the Super27 and welcome to another Dokkan Battle video. We're in the EZA event for this transforming BUU. So this starts off as good BUU, goes to pure evil BUU, and then ends up as super BUU. This is, at the moment, probably going to be the best TUR in the game. Actually, scratch that, is the best TUR in the game. I would maybe even argue potentially better than some of the EZA LRs we have in the game. I'm willing to kind of talk about that, or at least have an open dialogue about that. I'm very serious about that. I think this character is that good. Now, granted, something did get revealed the other night on Twitter, okay, meaning that this character will not be the top of the top in terms of EZAs for very long. Potentially. I would kind of like to see this character in action. I want to see that other character who EZA'd. I won't spoil it just in case you don't know. If you don't follow like Dokkan on Twitter or anything, just know it was an amazing pick that is super hype, and it has a pretty awesome kit because we saw some Minato translations the other night. So, for this event, you need to be bringing time limit. And on top of that, you want to not bring STR units, extremes as well. So no super STR, and then you don't want to bring any extreme class. So you want to bring a super class team. So this is what we are rocking with. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into this boy's details. So we start off with Majin Buu, good. Their leader skill is Majin Power, 4 key. Is my auto on? My auto is on. They lead Majin Power, 4 key and 170 stats, or Artificial Life Form, 3 key and 170 stats. Both of those are really good. Majin Power, we now have characters like this. We have the DFE Fat Buu. We have Buu Tanks. We have the Evil Buu Sideburner unit. Majin 21, Super Buu. There is the Part 2 potential for Buuhan. Kid Buu. A lot of potential EZA, so this is actually quite good. In Artificial Life Form, this being like the secondary leader skill is really good as well. LR Gammas, Gamma 1 and 2. Again, all the characters that I just listed pretty much are also on that team. Not to mention that there is that super hard Artificial Life Form mission up against the Beast Gohan event that global players will be getting in roughly 2-3-ish months as of the time of recording. So that's actually pretty important. His leader skill is the Kamehameha. He greatly raises attack for 1 turn, raises defense for 1 turn, and then immense damage to the enemy. Pretty good. His passive. He gets 3 key and 150 to stats at the start of turn. He gets an extra 50% attack when performing a super attack. He gets 40% damage reduction. He gets an extra 30% damage reduction when there is another Majin Power category ally attacking within the same turn. He gets an extra 50% attack and defense when there is not a Majin Power category enemy. And then he exchanges into pure evil Buu when conditions are met, and the conditions are turn 3. So it is the same thing as the Int Go Tank. So this guy in slot 7, you will absolutely never see this good Buu. You'll just instantly go into the evil Buu version. Which honestly probably won't be a miss for this character because he doesn't have any multiple, like he's not raising anything for 2 turns, 3 turns, or anything like that. And he's not stacking either. So getting this guy in slot 7 maybe wouldn't be the worst idea ever. Or like wouldn't be like the worst case scenario. But even in his base form, like this is the weakest he is, and he's just a character with 70% damage reduction. You put this guy in slot 2, nothing's going to really be hurting him too much. I mean, granted, only getting 30% defense on super attack effect is a little bit whatever, and not getting any defense on super attack in his passive is a little bit lame, but who cares? No one. Not me. Especially, again, after super attacking with 70% damage reduction. Now, for reference, another character who has 77% damage reduction, who is still really good in certain events, is the Sideburner TEQ God Goku, who is still quite good. Now, granted, he can kind of get cooked because he has like low defense at the start of turn or whatever. But this guy, he has really good defensive links. He has a really good team. And even if he does take damage by some miraculous occasion or whatever, you have characters like Buuhan, the DFE Fat Buu, all these characters who heal anywhere from 10 to like 20% HP per turn. So very good, very well designed kit, a very solid kit. I don't see this character like aging out anytime soon. Very good for his starting form. And then in terms of his links, he has Majin, the Innocence, Kamehameha, Infinite Regeneration, I hate Revival, the Wall Standing Tall, and then Fierce Battle. And then in terms of his categories, he has Abelian, Resurrected Warriors, Majin Buu Saga, Transformation Boost, Time Travelers, Artificial Life Form, Kamehameha, Majin Power, Power Absorption, Gifted Warriors, Storied Figures, Heavenly Events, Legendary Power, Legendary Existence, Sworn Enemy, Bond of Friendship, and then Worldwide Chaos. He's on a lot of categories because he has the good side of BUU being the base form, so you have, like, Bond of Friendship, because at this point in the series, he's a friend with Hercule. But you also have things like Heavenly Events, because Super BUU fights on Kami's Lookout up against Gotenks. Worldwide Chaos, because of the Human Extinction attack. You have Transformation Boost, because he's transforming a lot. Resurrected Warriors, because, you know, obviously he comes back to life. He has the Kamehameha, because he launches one in the Super Boost state. A lot of categories. And the caveat that he needs to be run with another Majin Power category ally, that's not a problem. It's the same thing with, like, Goku. Goku needs, like, if you're running him as your leader, you just need to keep another Majin Buu Saga category ally on the rotation with him. There are a lot of really good Majin Power characters. The weakest of whom you could probably run with would be Super BUU, LR Super BUU from last year. But we have Android 21, we have the new Side Banner unit, the Pure Evil BUU, again, the DFE, who isn't going to be aging out anytime soon at all. So this restriction really isn't even that bad. And a lot of these categories have other characters, so you could run him on Majin Buu Saga, you can run him on Transformation Boost, Artificial Life Form, Kamehameha, Majin Power, Power Absorption, Storied Figures, Heavenly Event, Legendary Existence, Sworn Enemies, and Worldwide Chaos. All of those have at least one other character who's on the Majin Power category. So I'm not entirely sure about Resurrected Warriors. I think that would just be other, like, fat boos, so I don't know if you would be able to link because of, like, same name shenanigans, but even still, like, you're only good boo for one turn. And the thing is with Bond of Friendship as well, like, you'd link up with, like, Mr. BUU, for example. So yeah, a lot of categories. I don't really think the Majin Power restriction is going to be a big deal. But then, once you enter turn 3, this mandatory transformation happens, and you're now Majin Buu Pure Evil, whose new super attack effect is the Guilty Flash, which will greatly raise attack for 3 turns, raise defense for 3 turns, cause immense damage to the enemy, and seals. Sealing, you can seal Janemba in the Red Zone movie boss rush, and you are able to seal Red Zone Cell Max. Once you get him below a third of his HP, you're able to keep him stunned and sealed locked. That is actually really crucial, and giving the 3-turn support is amazing. That means even if you have to float this guy, he's still going to be really good. His new passive is he gets 3 ki, 200% attack, and 150% defense. Okay, so he just gets more attack. Alright. He gets an additional 70% attack when performing a super attack. He has 40% damage reduction. He gets an extra 30% damage reduction when there's another Majin Power category ally attacking within the same turn. 50% attack and defense when there are no Majin Power category enemies. He has a great chance of stunning the attacked enemy. I didn't know he did that. That's awesome. He has a guaranteed seal and a 70% chance to stun. Wow. And then he has a high chance of evading all enemy attacks, including super attacks. So if you didn't quite catch that, we can break this down for you real quick. 70% damage reduction. He is giving himself 30% defense for 3 turns. Okay. And he's a 50% chance to dodge character. So, I know I tweeted this, and I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this yet. I haven't seen any footage. I haven't obviously played with the character. I'm EZAing him as we speak. But this character, between him and Buuhan, I think there is an argument for this guy to be better than Buuhan, who, between him and Vegito, are the best EZAs on Global right now. Because, in my brain, Buuhan, the LR, is going to do more damage, and he's going to be more consistent with launching additional supers. However, that guy, he has guaranteed guard, and he has the dodge. This guy has 70% damage reduction. He's getting the multiple plicative turn buffs, which the other guy does have as well. And the other guy does stack in his base form, which is something to be noted. But essentially, it's what do I think would be better? Being able to potentially stack up a bunch and then have the guaranteed guard and the dodging, or have a character who, from turn 3, has 70% damage reduction and a 50% chance to dodge. So even if he does get tagged by a super, he's going to live, because again, the rest of the Majin Power team, they all heal. Again, he has good villain links. He has good, like, recovery links. He himself will be healing with these links that he has. I don't see this character getting caught very easily in this form. And there is another transformation out of this, but I don't even know if you really want to transform out of this, just because this is such a solid defensive transformation. It's very similar to when we got the Zamasu during the Worldwide Download Celebration, the AGL one. You could have transformed him into the Corrupt merge the Masu, but most of the time you kept him outside of that transformated state. That way he could continue to stack, and he would have that extra damage reduction. And you could transform if you wanted to go for the kill, but that was not required, nor was it even really recommended. We'll get to that in just a moment. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. So let's go ahead and look at his new links. Again, I am very much a fan of this. The only thing I would say, though, that is a downside to this entire Super Buu-esque character is that they have no additionals, no super effective against all types, or crit built into their passive anywhere. They are very much so built like a defensive character, which is a little odd, honestly, when you look at all the stuff they're doing. Like, they're greatly raising the attack for the 3 turns, they're doing this and that or the other, they're getting extra attack on their super attack, they're not getting any defense, or they do, but it's at the start of the turn, or if there isn't a Majin Power category ally, which we really won't get a whole lot of usage of during this celebration, unless we get, like, what's it called? Whatever the Gogeta and Beast events are called, the super... What is it? The super spectacular something? Spectacle? Something? It has a lot of S's in it, whatever. Unless we were to get a stage with that, because you bring this guy against Super Buu, you're missing out on 50% attack and defense, which really isn't going to be that big of a deal, but it's fine. But let's look at his links. So he has Majin, Real Beatdown, Berserker, another link I'm not fond of, Infinite Regeneration, Fear and Faith, The Wall Standing Tall, and Fierce Battle. Very, 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 very good. Now, again, he does have a transformation state where you're able to transform into him when HP 70% or more starting from the 4th turn after the exchange, okay? So you have to have this guy for 2 rotations, so the soonest you could get this guy would be turn 7? You have him slot 1 as Fat Buu. Turn 3, you have Pure Evil Buu. Turn 5, you have Pure Evil Buu. And then if you're above 70% HP, yeah. So the soonest you could get this guy would be turn 7. That's deep into a fight, okay? But boom. Now that we are Super Buu, also this Super Buu has my favorite super attack effect in the entire game, or at least one of them, because that fight that he does, like that attack he does where he launches Gotenks up into the air and he flies down, he just has that menacing grin. I had that on VHS. Probably shows my age, but I don't care. That was amazing. One of my favorite fights in the entire show. But now we have Super Buu, whose super attack is the Ill Flash, which massively raises attack for 3 turns, greatly raises defense for 3 turns, so that is 100% attack and 50% defense for those who are not in the know. Causes immense damage to the enemy, and he keeps his guaranteed seal, which is really good. Again, Cell Max, get him down to 1/3 of his HP, you're able to keep him stun locked. His new passive, he gets 4 key, 250% attack, and 200% defense. He gets 100% attack when performing a super attack. He gets 50% damage reduction. He gets an extra 20% damage reduction when there's another Majin Power category ally attacking within the same turn. He gets an additional 50% attack and chance to crit per Rainbow Key Sphere obtained. So I'm actually not very fond of how this character is designed. So let's go ahead and break it down. Having the baseline of 50% damage reduction that's not going to really make a big deal. Like I said, it's really not difficult to run at least one other Majin Power category ally with this guy, especially with like his links. That's something you're going to want to be doing anyway, right? You're not going to run Resurrected Warriors, right, without another Buu, when you have options to do so that are going to link together. So I don't understand. I understand giving him a buff to 50, but why does he still only have 70%? I feel like if he had just 80%, I don't think that would be the worst thing ever. Mostly because you're also losing out on your dodge. He loses his ability to dodge when she transforms. Now, is he going to be doing more damage? Oh, 100%. But how much extra damage is he doing? Because he needs an extra 50%. He gets an extra 50% attack and 25% chance to crit per Rainbow Key Sphere obtained. So basically, you want to get this guy 4 Rainbow Key Spheres. You're guaranteed critting for the turn. But I don't think that there are any... I'm going to look these categories real quick. I know this is going a little bit off tangent. He doesn't have a Rainbow Orb Changer. Majin 21 doesn't Rainbow Orb Change. Buuhan doesn't Orb Change. The Pure Evil Buu doesn't Orb Change. Super Buu does not Orb Change. Oh, Good Buu. Mr. BUU does. Oh, okay. I see the synergy now. Mr. BUU, he does orb change. Okay. But that is the only character on Majin Power. Let's look on Artificial Lifeform, which I feel like there would potentially be more characters who could. The Gammas don't. None of this. Cell Juniors do, but you need a perfect Cell in the rotation with you. The Gammas orb change, but they don't Rainbow orb change. I'm just gonna try to have my eyes gloss over this really quickly, so if I do miss something, please let me know in the comments. No, I am not seeing... Yeah, no. So the intended synergy, I would assume, would be Mr. BUU, who currently is not out on the global version of the game. That is a JP exclusive, because it is a World Tournament character. Meaning we'll get it relatively soon. I think we're... I don't know how many World Tournaments we are behind JP. I don't know if we're 1 or 2. It doesn't really matter too much. It's just that we will eventually get the character, and that'll just be more retroactive buffs to this celebration. But yeah, losing the dodge is a huge bummer for this character. Now, granted, 100% attack for 3 turns is broken, but he does not have a big super attack effect, so, like, getting all this attack doesn't really do a whole lot. I mean, the Majin Power team does need big attackers, because they don't really have attackers. The BUU doesn't do a lot of damage, and Buhan, unless you're able to give him a ton of stacks in his base form, he's not really the most impressive offensively. I mean, he's impressive, but, like, compared him to Beast, Gogeta, all these other characters who are launching a billion attacks that are all doing like a billion damage, the Majin Power team moves much slower, which is a big problem, because that means the longer these characters go on, that means that they have more opportunities for them to get caught. Like, all of the characters on the team are good, really good, but if you have one character that is going to fraud you out 30% of the time, and you're fighting an event that's like 20 turns, that's a lot of times that 30% could theoretically show up, you know? Which isn't always great. I really do think the 50% would be fine if he kept getting the 30 for Majin Power. Just having him exactly the same, 70% damage reduction, which again is good. Like, I'm not really complaining too much, especially since he does get that extra 50% defense guaranteed. But you could look at that the same way, where it's like, well, his defense might not get that much more impressive, because if you're not going up against a Majin Power enemy, his stats are the exact same, right? Because he gets... we're going back to the pure evil form. So the pure evil form, at the start of turn, gets 200 attack, 150 defense, and if there is not a Majin Power category enemy, he gets an extra 50 to both. You transform, however, you're now Super BUU, and at the start of turn you get 250% attack and 200% defense. Your start of turn stats are going to be the same. And you're getting this guy turn 7. I doubt there's going to be a fight where you start off not against a Majin Power enemy and go into one. I really dislike how they designed him. Especially since, again, he has no guaranteed additionals built into his passive anywhere. So if this guy is additionally supering, which you need him to do to take advantage of those multiple turn buffs, you have to give this guy a ton of additional. And when you give him an additional, even if you had a full additional build, let's say your hidden potential system was like 31 dodged, meaning you gave him a 62% chance to additional each turn. All of those are only a 50-50 and off if you're going to get a super. Now, even a normal from this character is going to do a lot of damage, but a normal's not going to matter when you're missing out on getting an extra 50% defense for 3 turns and 100% attack for 3 turns. I feel like, I mean, even giving this guy just like a medium, like launching a guaranteed additional with a medium chance being a super, or just giving him a medium chance to super attack, or giving him literally anything, I'm really not fond of this, and which kind of makes me upset now that I'm reading it. I didn't realize it was as bad as it was. Because like I said at the start of this little segment, this is one of my favorite fights, like where his animations are taken from. It's one of my favorite fights in the show. It's just that quick little segment, but it's something that's stuck with my brain, especially with like the score that has accompanied that scene. The Majin Buu theme on the Super Buu from the Faulkner score is one of my all-time favorite anime themes. I listen to it way more than I probably should. Just because it really is that good. Yeah, look at it. It's lame. That really is lame. He could do a lot of damage, though, but, like, you guys know I would much rather survive than do a lot of damage. I say that, though, but I'm going to be, whenever I use this character, if I do a showcase or something, I'm going to be squealing the entire time, because it's just going to be fun. Because I will enjoy using the character. But I feel like they definitely did not respect this transformation. So I would say 9 times out of 10 when you're using this character, stay just as pure Evil Boo. You'll be doing slightly less damage, and your defense will be slightly lower, seeing as you get 30% defense at this on super attack effect and 50% on super attack as opposed to 150. But having that dodge is huge, you know? And you're keeping the same amount of damage reduction throughout, so does it really matter? Not really. Not really. But I mean, I would love to be proven wrong. I really would. I really would. I do think this guy has a contingency for being the best EZA in the game. At least on the global side. Like, obviously, I'm not saying this guy is better than MUI or SSBE. Like, I'm not. Please don't get that get that cross. I'm talking specifically about the global meta and the characters that we have available to us. Because they're definitely, like, this guy is 100%. There's no hesitation in my mind. Better than Kefla, who I think is better than Gotenks. Zero hesitation. I could say that without even batting an eye. But I really, really, really want to see how this guy does and fights, and compare that to what my experience using BUU tanks and my experience using Vegito, because I haven't played around with those two LRs too much. I have a little bit of experience with them, but not a lot, so I'll be very interested to see. But enough yapping about speculation. Let's go back to talking specifically about what this character has. His link set does change a little bit for the final time. He has Majin, Brutal Beatdown, Metamorphosis, Infinite Regeneration, Fear and Faith, The Wall Standing Tall, and Fierce Battle. Having Metamorphosis, though, is kind of huge, not gonna lie. It's a little bit of a shame that you only get access to Metamorphosis and turn 7, but that is such a good link. How many BUUs actually have Metamorphosis now that I'm thinking about it? LR Super BUU does, BUU Tanks, Buhan, I mean, that makes sense. The Majin 21s have them. Really, not a lot of BUUs do. It looks like it's from Super BUU and forward. Does Kid BUU have it? Kid BUU does not have Metamorphosis. Interesting. Okay. It's a very good link, though. Not one you'd be seeing too often on this team, though, surprisingly. That's insane, in my opinion. All right. Well, let's go ahead. I know this has just been me yapping a lot. But I'll let this run finish on my own time. I'll cut the footage forward. We'll get this boy EZA'd, and then we can wrap up the video. Alright, so this is the kit that we have for this guy. I did change it up a little bit. If you follow me on Twitter, you would have actually seen this build a little bit before this video came out. But let's go ahead and get this boy EZA'd. But that is going to be all for this time, guys. I have been the Super27. I'm a variety Twitch streamer and an up-and-coming YouTuber trying to make it big in the world. I have a Twitter, a Twitch, a TikTok, and a YouTube, the links of which can all be found in the description of this video. And while you're down there, don't forget to like, subscribe, share me around, and leave me a comment, positive, negative, or indifferent. I love just any sort of interaction I can get from you guys. Let me know, how excited are you for this Super BUU? Do you agree with me? Do you think he might be the best EZA on global right now? Or how do you think he stacks up with all the other EZAs that the JP fan base has that we don't? And how well do you think this guy's going to stack up to that other behemoth that we'll be getting on the, I'm pretty sure it's the 8th. I think that's actually dropping on Goku Day. Again, I won't spoil it, but how do you think the other tech character from the Majin Buu Saga's EZA will be doing? I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. But yeah, that will be all for now. So as always, I've been the Super27, and I am signing off.